Dear Kismet helps you dive into the mysteries behind cardology, or the astrology and numerology of the playing cards. We answer questions from our tribe and discuss world events and celebrities, all through the lens of this magical, ancient system. Our goal? To help you align with what is written in your cards and to raise the collective consciousness of the planet. If you go to our website, itiskismet.com, and enter your birthday, you'll get to your card's one-stop shop where you will find a 15-page report on your card and much, much more. You can also go to our site to find the cosmic connections, also known as the planetary energies, between you and another person. Now is the time for cardology to become as encoded in the collective energy as astrology and numerology are. So please tell your friends about Kismet. Hey everybody, it's Laura here with Dear Kismet, and we're back for another episode. We're going to be discussing the cards around Brangelina. So first off, let's say hi to Paula.
Hi everybody.
And then let's say hi to Candy.
Hey everybody.
Okay, Candy, so tell us, what has...
There was this sexy chemistry. They were in that movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yep.
The chemistry was off the chart. And then all of a sudden, poof, they are a thing. Two became one. So they've been together since 2004. It took them 10 years to marry, which honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I was supportive because they, if you guys remember, said they weren't going to marry until everyone could marry. So it was sort of this pro-gay stance, which was beautiful. So once that was no longer an issue, then they tied the knot in 2014. And life was going along, we thought, swimmingly, right? They have this beautiful collection of children. And then all of a sudden, out of what seemed like nowhere, Jolie filed for divorce mid-September 2016. We heard about this crazy airplane incident where Brad lost his temper, and then we hear about how he's got this temper that up until then seemed to not be on anyone's radar. So just a little bit about Brad. He is a King of Hearts. That's his birth card. His planetary ruling card is a 2 of Diamonds. He's 53 years old now. And Angelina, she is a King of Diamonds. So here we have 2 kings. That's her birth card, and her planetary ruling card is the 6 of Hearts, and she's 41. So I'm sure that there's something not only in their individual cards, but when we put them together and look at their cosmic connection, which you can find on our website whenever you want to check to see what they make as a relationship, you can check it out. But Paula, Laura, like what's going on here?
Yeah, well, speaking of their cosmic connection, so when you look them up on our website, or if you would put their dates in, you would get Moon, Mercury, and then Mars, and those two put together spell internal combustion. That's the, I mean, I don't think we need to finish the video. We can just shut it down. And then I went and added up their composite cards, and we addressed this in another video, but I'm gonna address it again. Yeah, so you can take, every card has a number that goes with it. So like it's the hearts first, and it ends on spades. So Ace of Hearts is a 1, and King of Spades is 52. So they're 39 and 13 because of the King of Diamonds and King of Hearts. Or yeah. And so if you take 39 plus 13, you get 52, which is the King of Spades. So we are going to kind of jump into what it means to have those 2 cards together. So their primary connections are Moon, Mercury, and Mars, but Paula's going to do her magic and find much more detailed, probably more information on different connections that come in that are not just the 2 that we pull up on the website. So the website has, itiskismet.com, has the cosmic connections, but they're sort of simplified. We wanted to make it simple for people, and you can get a report that gives you all the juicy stuff about your cosmic connections and what issues you're working around with those cosmic connections. Okay, so Paula, tell us about Brangelina.
Okay, first of all, do I look calm?
Yes.
I am so excited right now. I can't even explain it. I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to say about this. And I've never really been a Brad and Angie fan, but I think it's so rich, and I feel like I've really grabbed a hold of some of the dynamics that kind of explain the purpose of the relationship. Okay, so yeah, first of all, I'm going to talk a little bit about their the Moon, Mercury, and Mars. And so the first paragraph of that, and you guys should really go check it out, because these are so, if I say so myself, these are so well written. And it's not just me writing them. It's these guys editing and putting a great voice into it. And and God. Yeah. Laura's going, yeah, I totally channel this stuff sometimes. And I'm like, did I write that? Laura, did you write that? I don't remember writing that.
It's all Paula, guys. Just whatever.
It's
And
just
God.
like, I'm a god. No. Anyway, so what we wrote in the first paragraph about the Moon, Mercury, and Mars connection is it's like being in a hot tub and there's patchouli and candles and it's just like yummy, hot, and sexy. And then there's occasional thorn in that hot tub that's going to poke you. And yeah, there's a pun intended there because it's very sexual. But it's going to hurt and it's going to trigger you. And yet you keep coming back because it's this warm bath. So it's kind of an approach avoidance connection. That's one of their main connections. Another connection that I found, and this is kind of an abstract thing, and if you get a reading with me and you want me to explain this, I will. But through the circle of 7, we have other connections that come in that are extremely poignant. They're tied to past life, really particular stuff between individuals that they need to resolve. It's ancient, it's intense. And through that, they have a Moon, Mercury, Saturn connection. And my first paragraph, and I kid you not, the first, I of course didn't know this complicated connection that they have, but it's like one of them takes the other's face in their hands and says loving and gently, honey, bath. And we all know that Brad has bathing issues, but then I go on to say, eventually this is going to turn into, honey, you stink. Everyone knows it. Please take a bath. And so this is like a little microcosm of the relationship. I can just see that through a lot of Angie's connections to motherhood and to her karma and to her life purpose. She was all on board with all of these things, and Brad became part of her karma and her assignment. And as a heart, he's very young, and he's looking, it corresponds to children. Hearts correspond to children. And she's a diamond, which corresponds to adults. And so one of these, an aspect of the Moon-Mercury connection is a maternal thing. So he's going to want her to be the mother. And eventually we kind of saw him slide into a place of irresponsibility and help me figure out my issues. And I think he tapped out her emotional bank account. So anyway, yeah, that's just the first little bit. Should I just keep rolling, or does that bring up any questions or comments?
I think a good probably topic to touch on next would be, so they have this relationship where Brad's the adolescent and Angie is more of the maternal figure in the relationship, yet they're both kings in their cards, which leads both of us to have an assumption around what it means to be a king archetype. So how does that play out in their relationship?
Excellent question. Oh, this is so good. Okay, so being a king means that you're going to have to grow up. You absolutely have to grow up this time around. It's a lot of responsibility, and the universe isn't going to give you any, it's not going to write out any excuses for you, because now it's time. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're a king, you've got it all together. It means that you're going to be held more responsible to have it all together. Plus, you're going to be sort of imperious and controlling and annoying sometimes, but also very gracious and leonine and inclusive. So Brad's card, the King of Hearts, means his assignment is to grow up. Emotional maturity is his assignment. And Angelina's growing up card is Diamonds, which is grow into your values and your integrity. And so I want to bring this out because we can see pretty transparently what the purpose of the relationship for Brad is. It's like, frickin' grow up, dude. And we love you, Brad, and I have got a lot more to say about where he's going and what I'm predicting and what his next assignment is, because I'm really, really excited for him. The rubber's going to meet the road in a big way for him. But for Angelina, here's the tricky thing we don't see. Her karma card is the 7 of Spades, which is the card of righteousness. We call it, because there's a potential for self-righteousness there. And the intersection, so we'll go back to that little thing. The 2 intersecting planets for the 7 of Spades is Uranus and Jupiter. Okay, when you blow these up into their egoic expressions, Uranus says, I don't care, I don't have to care. It's like, whatever. And the ego interpretation of Jupiter is, I'm so amazing. I've got it all together. So it's like, I don't have to care and I'm so amazing. And I think that's a kind of a little trigger that Angelina has with, I think she triggers people in that way. But what she has to grow into is what Uranus ultimately is I am responsible to the community, to the globe, and I'm here to leave a legacy. I have a humanitarian mission. Holy shit! Didn't she ever grow into that? And then the Jupiter thing that she had to grow in is not I'm so amazing, but I bless. I receive blessings and I bless in turn. And oh my God, she was like the biggest paid female star for a period of time. And then she took all that and just shoved it into the humanitarian cause. And so she got on board and had to care. And Brad was the doorway for her to step into this and to care. And I think one of the big reasons is because she never really felt emotionally safe and secure in her relationships. And I think they had so much Moon Mercury that she finally settled into herself and felt like, okay, now I'm home. What do I really want? What do I really want to achieve? And so there's two more things. If we have time, I want to talk about the fact that their composite is the King of Spades and also the role of the Jack of Spades in their relationship.
Go for it.
Okay. So in the card spreads, if we look at their hands, so here there are two cards right next to each other, which means they both have all of these cards in their hand.
Oh, yeah.
And the Jack of Spades is Jupiter to Angelina, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. To Brad, it's Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. So at 52, we go into a 13-year cycle, also ruled by Saturn. So now he's stepped into it. Okay, so let me just back up a second. So the Jack of Spades is Jupiter to the King of Diamonds. So those of you who are diamond males in particular, or business owners who are diamonds, doing the magic, using manifesting tools, the whole metaphysical is going to be an asset to you and a great blessing. Figuring out the secret esoteric stuff is going to really bless you. It's on the kind of in the more ordinary interpretation. It's being a rebel, being unconventional. Okay, so we see Angelina in that. It's like you can tell she's got a depth of spirituality in there, and which probably has contributed to her success. But it's also like being a rebel is good for me. It's going to make me prosper. So in comes Brad, and that's his Saturn card. So before the shadow really comes out, the Saturn, and also with his planetary ruler, it's a Mercury card. So it's not all shadow shit for him. It's just how he operates. Obviously, he's a rebel. He's unconventional. And she goes, yeah, I like that. I like that. Ooh, that's really good. And she's a little bit more on the upside with all of that. Whereas Brad is going to, because it's his Saturn issue, he's going to go to the negative side of the Jack of Spades, which is manipulation and deception and stuff like that. Not being responsible. So this is eventually going to start to grate on her because she sees that she's experiencing more the upside of it, and now he's descending into the lower vibration of the Jack of Spades. So anyway, what it's going to turn into for Brad is a spiritual initiation. The higher expression of this card is, what are you doing in your life to express your highest truth? So like, are you doing yoga? Are you watching your diet? Are you bathing? Are you giving back? And I just have this really deep sense that he's going to go into his cave. He's going to go into a spiritual cave during this period because he's a very authentic, real, raw kind of person. And I think that this is really going to, I think he's going to get very grounded and figure his shit out in the next 13 years for sure. And I predict that he's going to want to get back together with her. She'll be interested because of the kids, and she'll see that, yeah, maybe he's grown up. But I don't know where she's going to go in that. So anyway, that's what I'm predicting with that. And so, okay, to complete with the King of Spades. So to have the King of Spades as your composite card or your anniversary, as we talked about in one of our other shows with Candy, their anniversary is January 1st, which is the King of Spades. It brings an aspect of responsibility to the connection. We have to be responsible. We're grown-ups here. We have to do this all right. We have to handle all of these pieces right. And so, for a while, it did seem like they were the ultimate couple. They had achieved the public life, the private life, the kids. They're living out their values, the humanitarian thing. And it's a lot to handle, of course, but then the deeper question becomes, what are you actually responsible for? Angelina, are you actually responsible to raise this man-child? No. Brad, are you actually responsible to get your own shit together. Is it her job or your job? So, I mean, those are kind of the broad strokes. And we know that there's a lot more involved that we don't know about. And we just want to say to them energetically, and if by some miracle they see this, we respect your privacy and your own knowing, and we don't know your story. But these are the broad strokes. And if it helps anybody, great.
Yeah, and that's generally speaking, like that's why kind of we're talking about celebrities, is because then we all have common language to talk about. So I mean, this would apply to any couple that's King of Diamonds, King of Hearts, probably any couple that has a King of Spades composite card. So these are themes that a lot of us are experiencing, and Paula just summarized the work that it seems like they have to be doing based on their cards. And again, we don't really know because we're not, living in their living room or anything, but it's a way for us to kind of all have a common language and talk about what is the work that we are supposed to be doing. Candy, do you have anything to add?
Actually, I want to go back to something, Paula, that you said earlier, because it struck me when you said it. If you think back to the people, the relationships that Angelina was in prior to Brad, I mean, they were crazy, right? It was a shit show. She was like a child trying to get some parents' attention, doing all these wild and crazy things. But then she meets Brad, she falls in love, and she all of a sudden is like this beautiful woman who's a humanitarian. I mean, I remember when she used to wear a vial of blood around her neck, and now all of a sudden she's like speaking at the UN.
Totally. Yeah. Part of the Uranus vibration is to be the rebel. It's the Christ archetype. So it starts out being a rebel. It's all about that Jack energy. Right. And then to transcend that is like, oh, if I am Christ, I have this responsibility to the planet. And yeah, so, and something else to keep in mind that just popped in my head is that she's a diamond heart combination, right? Because the 6 of Hearts is her planetary ruler. I'm not positive of that. I think that's the case. And he is a heart diamond combination. So she had the same dynamic internally she had the same royal archetypes at play, and like, I need to grow up and really look at what my values are. And Brad's going through the same thing. So yeah.
Go ahead. Well, she's one of those people, I'm always looking up her age. I'm like, wait, how old is she? Because I feel like there's part of her that seems like she's just ancient.
Yeah.
When she's not that far off in my age. And every time I look it up, I think, wait a minute, wait, what?
I know. I'm even thinking, is that a Mandela effect? Because I thought she was like 10 years older than she was. And I think part of it's that she's the King of Diamonds.
Yeah.
And another part of it is that karma card is the 7 of Spades, which represents the sage. So there is part of her that is really frickin' big picture and ancient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is all so amazing.
So ultimately at Kismet, what we're trying to do is help you figure out what your work is. It's all about working from the inside out, and it's not about looking at external circumstances and trying to adjust those. It's all about adjusting the inside. So you can go to our website, look up your birthday, get your card, find out your planetary ruling card. We have little reports that are actually really big reports, but we're only selling them for $4. They're a really good deal. And then we have the kit, which is this tons of pieces of information all put together based on your card. There are questions you need to ask yourself. There are affirmations, or we just gave power words that you can print out and put on vision boards. There's a whole section on the royal archetypes, and we kind of tapped into that today, which are the kings. So like everybody, whichever suit you are, you can utilize the Jack, Queen, and King of your suit, and you often do, especially in relationships. So we have a whole section on that, and that's really juicy. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in the kit, and there's a bunch of other stuff on our website. So just jump over there and start playing around. And we will see you next time.
Thank you for watching this episode of Dear Kismet. We would love it if you would subscribe and share. Go to our website, itiskismet.com, to learn more about the Cardology Conference in Vegas in October, to look up your card and cosmic connections, and to ask Dear Kismet a question.